Drew McIntyre banged up and frustrated and considering a non-WWE future. Plus, we have an update on the WWE World title plans and a new WWE Raw logo may have been revealed. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Now, I know you guys have talked a lot about Iron Drew's WWE status over the past few days. He's not a happy camper.
It doesn't seem so. So it was reported on Friday in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Drew was more than likely going to be leaving WWE, and then Dave gave us an update saying that's not what I wrote, despite the fact that it looked like that's what he wrote. It was very sort of a Dave Meltzer thing. So it looks like it's in Drew's mind, at least, that he's certainly exploring other options, and this report very much backs that up.
Fightful Select say McIntyre's WWE deal is up in early 2024, well before WrestleMania, but we're told he's operated on the possibility that it could end up being his last WrestleMania, which I believe means that if his contract is up before Mania next year, the next one will be his last if he stays, or maybe the one that we've just had was his last.
Yeah.
It's a bit
as well, doesn't it?
Somewhat ambiguous there, but he did talk in, according to Fightful, he went into WrestleMania very banged up and injured, but was keen to get over the finish line for Mania to help get Gunter over and have that triple threat banger.
Good lad.
With him, Sheamus and Gunter.
They didn't hold back, did they? So considering he was banged up going into that, that's mightily impressive.
We are told, say Fightful, that it's more accurate to say that he doesn't know whether he's leaving or not, but if things aren't working for both sides by the time his deal is up, he is willing to explore options elsewhere and leave the door open to return to WWE in the near future. Now, there's been some frustrations on Drew's part towards WWE, and they say several situations of not being on the same page with WWE have come to light. One of those most recently being the draft, in which he was left out of the loop until it was announced that he was on Raw. He's been very hands-on with his own creative for the past few years. So it was, from what we gather from Fightful, a bit quite frustrating for him to suddenly find out on TV, oh, I'm doing Mondays now, am I?
Yeah, that's a weird way of doing it, because it seemed like, from what I've read anyway, most of the main roster superstars were told, but the NXT superstars weren't necessarily told that they were coming up. But most of them, what I read anyway, they were given the heads up on that. I'd be really, really sad to see him go.
No, I'd be sad to see. I think it's one of those where he carried the company. I think we talked about this in a video a week or so ago. He carried the company during one of the bleakest times, and he got that big WrestleMania moment in front of nobody, and it was always devastating to oh god, when he reached out to the
it's good breaking the fourth wall. No, it's good. Amazing.
It was incredible, and it's sad to think that moment with him as the top guy seems to have been and gone. It certainly doesn't feel like WWE has any intentions to make him the top guy again.
Well, there can't be until this World Heavyweight title relaunches, and that is crowned. There can't be another top guy, because it's just been Roman Reigns for so very long. So it must be frustrating for any sort of potential main eventer, knowing that Roman is probably holding this for absolutely ages. So you're never going to be the top guy until that goes. So that's part of the reason why there are benefits to the World Heavyweight title being launched. We'll get to the title picture shortly in the tournament entrance, but he is a really notable omission. It's absolutely packed full of main eventers and a few potential main eventers, and Drew not being in there does feel weird, doesn't it?
It doesn't feel like... It feels like an obvious omission.
Yeah, but
very much so.
At the same time, the fact that they did acknowledge him and he was in the draft, he was the third round. He was a third round draft pick. At least they are still acknowledging him on TV, because it would have been really weird had they not.
Yeah, that's it. Sit tight. We'll go through all the contenders for the world title in just a moment. But let's give you a bit of Punk news. Take a shot. PW Torch's Wade Keller was on House of Wrestling and talked about Punk's trip to Raw and whether Tony Khan was aware of it or not.
Yeah, he said, I heard that Tony reached out to somebody and asked, what the heck is going on? The belief of people that I talked to is Tony didn't know ahead of time, and some people were like, is this going to be the time Tony realizes what we're dealing with Punk? Will he stop being such a fan of his and blind to Punk's lack of social awareness? Keller speculating as well in the article that Tony may have had prior knowledge, but told Punk he would wash his hands of it if it gets back to him.
It was one of those, during the article, Keller says there may have been, it was very speculatory by Wade Keller that maybe there was a conversation where Punk was like, I might go to Raw, and Tony's like, hey, look, we didn't have this conversation. That's what you do. We didn't talk about this.
I think he probably knew. I'm not sure what to make of all of this, but I think it's probably quite good marketing for AEW. The more people talking about Punk ahead of his return, the more people end up talking about AEW, tuning into AEW. The best part of this whole Punk little tour has been that loads of people are talking about Impact. I quite like that. Like, I don't care about Punk, AEW. Like, they're hot enough. But loads of people are going, all right, Impact, that's cool, isn't it? Oh, Trinity's there now as well. Let's give it a shot. Good for them.
I love that he turned up at Raw and security went, nah, mate, Vince says you got to go. Whereas Impact went, oh, come on in.
Yeah, right.
We've got Uno. Get in here. Make him a coffee immediately. Get him a sarsaparilla. Don't get him a sarsaparilla. He doesn't drink. But get him a coffee, definitely. Let's move back to Raw. No CM Punk in this one, but the lineup for the World Title Tournament has been revealed. There was some confusion and some frustration about the fact that we've now had this hard brand split, but now we could potentially see somebody moved already.
It's a bit weird. The way it's going to work is you've got these tournaments on Raw and SmackDown, and then it looks like it's going to be Raw versus SmackDown in Saudi Arabia. And if it's a SmackDown superstar who wins it, despite the fact that the draft has just happened, that superstar will be drafted from SmackDown to Raw should they win the tournament.
I'd laugh if they go, no, I'm keeping the belt on SmackDown, and Triple H will go, oh, for God's sake.
And then Roman beats them on next week's TV. Adds a third to the Arsenal.
Is Paul right? There's another one. Don't lose this one. It's our last spare.
Who we got?
So on Raw tonight, we should be looking at 2 triple threat matches with Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, The Miz, and Shinsuke Nakamura in the mix. Now, according to the Wrestling Observer and a few other sources, it's very likely that we'll see a main event featuring the winners of those 2 respective triple threat matches to close out Raw.
All in one night. So they're going to do 2 triple threats and then the main event, despite the fact that we're weeks away from the show. That's weird. Fightful
Select have said the tournament will take a significant portion of Raw as things stood on Sunday. So
I'm not sure about that because I think they'll want an absolute banger of a main event. Of a decider to see who goes into the final. Do you want people working twice to do that? And you've got weeks ahead. I'm not buying that. I think we'll see 2.
You think we'll do the 2 triple threats tonight, and then we'll have because bear in mind that we'll have the 2 triple threats tonight, and on a 3-hour Raw, you could still have a banger of a main event. Keep in mind, maybe not so much on SmackDown. You could still do it,
but you've got weeks to do that. I don't know why you wouldn't want to continue building, but it's a tournament. I don't want to see what will happen in one night, except for the final. I don't know. We'll see. I'll be wrong there, no doubt. You know who I'm excited about? Sorry, Damian Priest in there. Really good to see Damian Priest, and I would like him to get further than Finn Balor.
Yeah,
especially after the weekend, wasn't that special?
What an amazing show! It's certainly what we wanted to happen to see Savio Vega and Carlito.
Yeah, you called it, didn't you?
I called it, mate.
What a pop! That was like the Austin pop.
Do you know what?
Linda pop. Road Warriors pop. Savio pop.
The Savio pop. Right. It was a pop that was so loud it made his pop at No Way Out in Texas 1998 even louder. just as well. SmackDown on that side of things. 6 will compete in 2 triple threat matches on Friday. Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, Sheamus, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles, and Edge. So again, a mixed ballot, quite a few former world champions in there. Theory being the exception to the rule there. So whether or not we see Theory going into the next episode,
I still think he might win Money in the Bank. You know, I genuinely think there's a chance he'll do it again and pee everybody off. Right, I'm going to go through these names really quickly one more time.
Okay, go on then.
And you're going to give me a little hot, cold. Oh, you're not going to do this as a video. I
wasn't planning to. But hey, it could be a sneak preview.
Go on, right. Okay. Seth Rollins.
Is this for winning Money in the Bank?
No, sorry. For
winning the whole tournament thing.
For winning the whole tournament.
Oh, no, I won't have time to do a video on this. It's fine.
Seth Rollins.
Hot.
Finn Balor.
Cold.
Cody Rhodes.
Lukewarm.
Damian Priest.
Lukewarm.
The Miz.
Cold.
Yeah. Shinsuke.
Cold.
On the SmackDown side of things, Austin Theory.
Lukewarm.
Ooh. Bobby Lashley.
Cold.
Sheamus.
Cold.
Rey Mysterio.
Lukewarm.
AJ Styles.
Lukewarm.
And the Rated R Superstar Edge.
Lukewarm.
I reckon Edge is in with a shout.
Yeah.
Adds a lot of prestige. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people there that are going to add prestige to the belt immediately, but former multi-time world champion Edge with a very, very short reign to kick things off. It's not really necessarily the way you want to see a title go, is it? A short reign. But I think people will be fairly happy with Edge as long as he passes the torch sooner rather than later.
So maybe a Seth Rollins and Edge final. So run that back. We had that a while ago, didn't we? That was a nice time. But 5 was late, as I say we're told that the World Heavyweight title tournament will take up a significant portion of Raw tonight. They plan on having the belt ringside presented as it has appeared on TV for recent weeks, so the wrestlers can walk past and just touch it like it's precious.
Lovely. I think it's going to be Seth out of this lot, because if you've taken one from Raw, one from SmackDown, Seth and AJ.
Oh,
I think that's your final.
Have we had a set? We've had Seth AJ, haven't we? Have we?
Yeah, we must. Yeah.
I don't.
Comments. Sort us out. Yeah.
It is. Okay, fair enough. As well as a new title, what's this about a new logo for Raw?
This is a bit weird. So WWE uploaded a video of Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre from an early May episode of Raw on their YouTube channel, and they perhaps mistakenly used a new asset that they shouldn't have used, displaying a new logo of Raw. It's super minimalistic. It's the way that design is going now. We've seen loads of like big corporate brands scrapping all like the 3D stuff that they were using before, and it's just a simple, very flat version of their logo. Raw seems to be doing the same. It looks like the font Babus New, from what I can tell, only because we used it a few, so it looks a bit like that. It's not the most exciting font or anything like that, or exciting logo generally, but it does appear that might be taking over, or it could be a secondary logo that they use for various other assets. I don't know. What do you make of it?
I must admit, I don't mind. I don't know whether my brain has just become used to seeing minimalist things, how like everything has just turned into like a very bold shape over the years. I imagine the Cultaholic logo at some point will just be a chevron.
My face.
Or just your but then as every year goes by, like another feature is removed. Yeah. So it just becomes like a circle.
Like my real face.
Like your real face. Yeah. I don't mind it. It's minimalist and it does the job. I personally am happy just to see the end of the current Raw logo. It doesn't do a lot for me.
No, I agree.
That random little arrow at the bottom.
I agree. And there's a flat version of that they use as well. They started with the 3D one, didn't they? Which they still occasionally show on TVs. It's not
Sometimes
just a
they
flat
do
one
it at
on
the same
TV.
time as the Raw bot at the start of Raw. That little robot that points at, we're in Corpus Christi. They never did enough with the Raw robot. I'm just saying. It's got a name, but I can't remember. It's probably Alan.
So I don't know. We'll see. The timing is really curious on this because the draft takes effect. So it's a little bit of a soft reset with regards to WWE programming. So the timing is interesting. But it appeared that this was the only video that it was on. So it might have been an editor putting the wrong new logo on ahead of time.
Maybe
so
they
we'll see
couldn't
tonight.
find the logo, so they went, I'll just write Raw on it.
There you go.
They got everybody talking. We'll find out in a few hours when Raw is happening on the television. As opposed to what? On the podcast feed right now, this is quite exciting. I had a nice chat last night with Zach from Downstate.
Oh!
Whoa! He's good fun. Downstate have done loads of WWE theme music, including an unnecessary banger for Alex Riley.
Say it to my face.
Yeah.
Amazing
It's
song.
incredible.
It won. I saw them tweeting actually. I think it was probably Zach who tweeted saying that it won the Superstar Theme of the Year in 2010, I want to say.
They won a Slammy. They never received the Slammy.
Oh,
he told me last night. They never
scum.
physically got the Slammy.
And I don't think they do them on WWE Shop anymore because I tried to buy one a few months ago and they were out of stock. Maybe they're back in. I'll send you one, Zach.
Do you want to know also, you got to listen to find out the shocking true story behind the woe in Cody's song.
Ooh.
We've got the origin of it. There's a fun
What's
little
a tease?
I know, right? It's on the podcast feed, and if you're a patron, you can watch the video version right now as well. And for the latest wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe and love you, bye.